nutrients, and the orange juice, the beverages, the fresh fruits. Now we're going to move on until maybe about a little bit later on in the day when you want to have the more adult type picnic. Joining me again is Scott Atkinson. Scott, let's talk about some of the things you want to have when it's just maybe you and your mate.
Well, there could be the really fun kind of quick ambush picnic where you surprise her at lunch or something like that at work. And that can be super simple, super fast, easy. It could be just kind of popping in the local grocery store. Obviously, Western might be not a bad choice.
Not a bad choice at all.
And just pick up a few things. We actually got some sushi, which I would not normally recommend for a picnic. But if it's going to be really quick, you're not going to be in the car too long, I think that may be something really easy. You don't have to worry about spoiling if it's just going to be a few minutes.
Right.
Because spoilage is obviously a big concern. You notice that I won't talk about anything regarding mayonnaise.
Yeah.
You can,
with the hot heat.
precisely. You can do it, but it's just not worth the trouble, not worth the effort.
Okay, and we talked about the adult picnic, so let's mention some of the drinks or beverages that we have here.
I work in the wine department here at Western, and so that's kind of my, I guess, area of expertise. There's some tremendously wonderful wines for the summer. Like a Pinot Gris from Oregon, I think it'd be some delicious stuff. A dry rosé from France. This is not sweet. A lot of rosés, people think of White Zinfandel, but a good dry rosé is wonderful stuff. And we also have some just little half bottles, maybe some bubbly. Maybe you're celebrating something. Hopefully you're going to celebrate something maybe that will happen next spring even. So it might be something fun to do. And just and the thing is, you don't want to bring too much. You know, maybe 1 beer, 2 beers, maybe half a bottle.
Especially being so hot outside.
Precisely. And don't bring a whole bottle and expect to finish.
Right.
Because you want to be able to drive home. That's a very important thing.
And you want to keep this stuff on ice, of course.
Absolutely.
Speaking of dry sausage.
Yeah, and again, we spoke about carrying like a sharp knife earlier. If you have something like a little picnic box or bag, we actually were given, my wife and I were given this for our wedding. It's a wonderful little something to have. You can even just use like a simple little backpack.
Right.
Pack it carefully, carry the stuff in there, and you're good to go. And you can get a surprising amount of stuff in here. We've got, some chips, some drinks. We've got these dry meats, the cheeses. Something really important about the cheese is you don't want to carry a hard cheese. Like no cheddars, no Swiss, because when it gets hot, they get a little oily.
Right.
A soft cheese is
pop
good.
it in a microwave.
Precisely. And a soft cheese is good because it doesn't get that oily and it kind of gets a little warmer, and I think they're better when they've got a little bit of warmth to it.
I want to mention this. I know a lot of times when we think of picnics, we think of the paper and plasticware, but don't be afraid to bring out your glasses.
Absolutely. Like I said, we were fortunate to get a really nice setup.
Yeah.
But even if you just pack something out of the house and you're careful with it, bring out the nice stuff if you could, especially if it's
wine glasses.
Yeah, especially if it's going to be important to you. But again, I'm going to kind of finish with what we started on the sunrise picnic. 2 of the most important things are to be mindful of whom you're picnicking with.
Right.
You definitely want to bring some water because you don't want to dehydrate, especially if it gets warm. You definitely want to carry some things to clean up with. You definitely want to carry some anti-bug stuff, especially at sunset, and kind of dress accordingly. If you're going to be somewhere in the woods, you might want to wear long pants. And if it's going to be too hot, maybe just try it another day.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, you can find all of these nice items at Western Supermarket here in Mountainburg or any of the other locations. So this is making me hungry. When you go out on a picnic, why not pick Rick?